Imagine it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. You're at the kitchen table, frantically gluing dry macaroni to a shoebox so your child can turn it in the next morning. This is a familiar scene in many households, but it raises a question. Is this activity teaching a specific subject, or is it just a test of a family's ability to handle a craft project? Often, these shoeboxes follow a predictable path. They are submitted, given a letter grade, and then promptly moved to the recycling bin and forgotten. These traditional projects prioritize the final physical object over the actual thinking and learning the student does along the way. Modern education has moved toward a more rigorous system called project-based learning, which replaces superficial crafts with deeper investigation. To understand how this works, we can look to the work of educational coach Dr. Jorge Valenzuela. He uses a specific 6-part framework that provides a clear structure for turning a standard classroom into a center for real-world innovation. This methodology provides a roadmap for teachers to change how students interact with the material they are studying. Let's look at how this works in a classroom challenged to design a usable community garden for an urban neighborhood. Element 1 is intellectual challenge and accomplishment. Instead of a quick weekend assignment, students investigate the problem over an extended period of time, building their understanding step by step. For this project, students investigate the logistics of growing food in a concrete urban environment. This leads to element 2, authentic work. This means the project uses tools and addresses issues that students genuinely care about. Students might use 3D modeling software to plan the garden's layout, or use scientific water testing kits to check the health of the soil. Combining a long-term challenge with professional tools helps students become active, invested investigators. Element 3 is the public product. This can be one of the most effective ways to change how students approach their work. In this framework, public means the final work goes beyond the teacher's desk. It is shared with people outside the classroom. Students might present their garden designs to the local mayor, business owners, or community members. Knowing that their work will be seen by the community increases student effort and accountability. This external audience turns a classroom exercise into a high-stakes project where the quality of the work really matters. Element 4 is collaboration. Students don't work in isolation. They receive mentorship from adults and work closely with their peers to navigate obstacles. Element 5 is project management. Here, students learn the practical skill of organizing their own workflow. They set milestones, delegate different responsibilities to team members, and monitor their own progress to stay on track. Finally, element 6 is routine reflection. The learning process continues even after the garden design is finished. Students are encouraged to think about how they learned the material, identifying what went wrong, and how they adjusted their plan. By focusing on management and reflection, the project emphasizes the growth of the students' skills, rather than just the physical garden they designed. When a teacher applies this 6-step framework, it changes how the classroom functions across any subject. Dr. Valenzuela highlights 3 main outcomes. First is deeper learning, where students retain math and science principles because they've used them in a real-world context. Second is student ownership. Students develop a sense of responsibility for the quality and impact of their work. Finally, there are purposeful outcomes. Students see that their work has a visible effect on the world around them. This framework provides a manageable system for teachers to implement project-based learning effectively, regardless of their previous training. This approach bridges the gap between classroom theory and real-world application. It gives students the tools to begin addressing real problems now, rather than waiting for the distant future. By using this structure, schools can move away from the era of stressful, last-minute dioramas. Significant learning happens when we stop treating students as passive listeners and start treating them as capable problem solvers.